coffee with Katherine Lemoine. How's it
It's
going?
going great. Thank you for having me. Cheers.
I always like it when you come by the coffee shop. Y'all, I guess, traveling somewhere and you pass here, coming up from the parish or whatever.
Yes.
We have lots of St. Bernard customers because of people that are meeting or whatever.
Sure, and we want to support a parish boy and his business.
That's
great coffee.
That is it. That is true too. So the reason you're here today. So I'm super we just got through Mardi Gras and it's like, all right, so I got to go see another parade.
Oh
but,
no.
it's so April 1st.
April the 1st, right? So
you're the queen.
Yes,
So
I'm the queen. I'm so excited.
So they're gonna put you up on a float.
Yes.
So it's the Irish Italian Isleno parade.
Right, and in St.
Bernard.
Right.
Irish Italian Isleno parade.
Absolutely, a perfect combination to kind of represent the culture, the history, heritage of St. Bernard.
Because St. Bernard's really, and I've made fun of St. Bernard a lot on the program. I don't talk about, make fun of, whatever. But St. Bernard's really, it's a lot of old New Orleanians families from this side of town.
Absolutely.
You know, when I go to St. Bernard, there's more people. Oh, shop at the St. Roch Market. Yeah, I know. Everybody did. I get it. But
right.
but it was those groups. It was the Italians and the Irish that really settled this side of the city originally, but then eventually kind of moved downriver and moved to St. Bernard.
Right, and that Isleno culture and the
Isleno
heritage that is such an interesting part of our St. Bernard history.
The Isleno thing, okay, I did grow up in St. Bernard, so that's why I can make fun of it, but I really didn't spend much time in I grew up, I lived there, I slept there, but a lot of everything I did, I came here, you know what I mean? I was I lived kind of here. I went to school there, but kind of lived here. So I never really I knew there was some Islenos down the road. I didn't know what that really meant.
Right.
Canary Islands.
Right.
I thought the Canary Islands were right off of Delacroix. I had no idea where the Canary Islands were growing up. But then my wife teaches down there,
Absolutely.
and so she had a field trip to, and my wife's not from St. Bernard, which is kind of funny. So that means she teaches with all the girls I went to high school with, which is just horrible. But,
the Isleno, like I said, the Isleno heritage and culture is such an important part of the St. Bernard history.
It's
and in
so
fact,
cool.
Every year we have the Isleno Festival.
We went this.
it's
Ashley dragged me to the Isleno Festival. It's not something I would necessarily do, but so she dragged me to the Isleno Festival. The food at the Isleno Festival.
Incredible.
Whoa.
Incredible.
It's not good for fair food. That was good for 5-star. They had chefs from the Canary Islands in Spain come and do the food.
Right, and they have all the Canary Island performers, dancers, singers. It's so
cool.
fabulous. And I think, we talked about this a little bit before, but I think because of the way that St. Bernard is geographically situated, you don't need to drive through St. Bernard to get to anynewhere else. So
yeah, if you're in St. Bernard, you're
there because you wanted to be there, right? And so a lot of people don't know what we have to offer.
You didn't just when you say wanted to be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I certainly want to be there.
Okay.
So I think that a lot of people, especially in the city, we're so close, to New Orleans, but they don't know, what we have to offer. Things like the Isleno Festival and things like the Irish Italian Isleno Parade.
The parade, yeah. So and they're throwing the one time I went to that parade, I got garbage bags full of produce.
Right, and I know you
was
said
insane.
earlier, okay, we're sick of Mardi Gras, but this parade is so much different.
Yeah.
The largest parade in St. Bernard and one of the largest in the States.
Really?
Over 40 floats.
40 floats.
Over 40 floats, and there are tons of marching groups as well. And
so it's worth the trek down to the parish.
It is worth the trek because we won't just be throwing beads. We've got over 400,000 pounds of produce that will be thrown.
400,000?
400,000.
What does that even look like? What does 400,000?
It looks like a lot of potatoes and carrots and.
How do you get? You got trucks that have 18-wheelers worth of produce?
I don't know. I guess we'll see how this works out. But yeah.
Your arm's gonna be tired.
I know. Wave with one hand, throw with the other. So I'm excited.
So what are you throwing? You throwing the cabbage or you got beans? What do you have?
Yeah.
What do they give the queen?
Well, lots of produce. I have to give a special thanks to the O'Neill family that organizes this parade. Chad O'Neill, Mary, Melissa, Danny. And they do a great job of organizing some really unique throws besides the produce, but things like shirts and frisbees and cups. And of course, since I'm a teacher, I'll be throwing some educational items too. I've got some coloring,
educational
coloring
items.
books and books.
How
and
disappointing is that going to be for a kid to go to a parade?
Oh no!
He's either going to get cabbage,
cabbage and some flashcards.
Yeah, cabbage and some flashcards.
It'll be lots of fun, lots of stuffed
cool.
animals and things like that. So yeah,
cool.
With a true teacher at heart, gotta throw some education.
Because you're on the school board. Is that how you got? How did you get it? How did they name you queen of this?
No, I got a call, and Chad said, "Listen, we really love all the work that you and your husband do in St. Bernard. You two school teachers, and we want you to be king and queen." And of course, immediately, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. But when I heard that the parade was on April 1st, I thought, please don't let this be
it's a joke.
An elaborate
April 1st. So April Fool's Day, get down to St. Bernard. So it's Saturday.
Right.
It's a Saturday, April
right.
1st. April Fool's Day, 12 noon. And
right.
so what's the route look like?
So the route will start at the Civic Center, and then we loop around up to
that's
Vera
the old
Drive.
That's the old cultural center.
Right, the cultural center. Yes, still the Segura Center.
The Segura Center.
It'll go all the way down Judge Perez to Ventura, and then all the way back up. So it's a nice long route.
When I was
and
in
very family friendly. Lots of people like the kids.
The kids.
It's
St. Bernard.
That's
what. Yeah. So it'll just up and down Judge Perez.
Up and down Judge Perez.
So from the Civic Center, the Segura, the Cultural Center, whatever you want to call it, back to. Well, actually, when I was in college, I went to college at Holy Cross across the river, and we were talking about various things, and we were talking about an oxymoron. And so, my favorite example of an oxymoron is St. Bernard Cultural Center.
Oh, let me tell you,
and that would kill. That joke kills every time.
No, we do. We have so much culture and history.
Absolutely. And if I can diverge on that for a second, because I do like to poke fun at St. Bernard a lot. But
I'm going to keep you in check, don't worry.
The cultural aspect of St. Bernard really is interesting. I'm reading Richard Campanella's book right now, the Bienville's Dilemma. Okay. And one of his chapters, he talks about how New Orleans it shows that New Orleans is important because of its nicknames. Mm-hmm. And so how the city that cared for Dada, the Crescent City, the Big Easy. Right. You say those words anywhere on the globe and they know what city you're talking about. That's kind of a big deal. Very few cities have that. Maybe the City of Brotherly Love, I don't know. But, St. Bernard is a place that has a lot of stuff happening. I mean, that has, between the Battle of New Orleans in 1812, in Chalmette, the Islenos, the various plantations that were along the river, the Domino sugar. There's so many, hugely historical things in St. Bernard that and of course when you say the parish anywhere in the whole state. It could mean a lot of different
things to a lot of different peoples.
Yeah.
But we think of it as a very loving but irreverent nickname. And it's something that,
the fact that it has a nickname. Jefferson Parish doesn't have a nickname. No. They may have something underneath their logo, the Friendly City or something.
Right.
I don't know what but they're not you're not going to know that,
Right, exactly.
Whereas St. Bernard, the parish, everybody at the parish, go down to the parish. People know which parish.
And I think
out of all the parishes, it's the parish.
Exactly. And I think that people, we're known for the white shrimp boots, and I think that's something that people used to kind of roll their eyes at in the past. But I think it's something about rebuilding post-Katrina and really coming back together as a community that people have really embraced that idea.
I was having this conversation with Nick Clark, who was on one of my other episodes, with the history of. We didn't have it on the show, unfortunately, but he was talking about where he grew up, somewhere in St. Louis or something. And for us, he was oh yeah, he was talking about Rocky and Carlos, and so I'm like, Rocky and Carlos is interesting because it's the only one left, really.
Sure.
But there was a restaurant like that on every corner,
right?
And there were no real chain restaurants down there, and then they have produce stands and people selling fish on the side of the road, and now that with the farm to table movement and all that stuff, and chains are bad, and that's all the new push, but you and I grew up like that.
Right, absolutely. And I think now more than ever, aside from, of course, Rocky and Carlos, that's what St. Bernard is known for, we have so many great dining options.
Oh, there's plenty.
So many fresh options.
Even, you got Mimi's, you got all the, you've got kitchen
table. And of course, favorites like Arabi Food Store, you gotta love Miss Debbie and the muffaladas.
Oh man, you can't do it. people ask me what's the best muffalata in the city, and that's what I tell them.
Absolutely.
I think it's
Yeah,
by
we
far
love-
the best.
And I
Arabi
feel
food
so lucky
store.
that we get to walk there in Arabi.
Yeah, you get to walk.
We've got a lot of places now in Arabi. It's become a little walkable area that you can kind of walk to a little art gallery, walk to the Moment Center.
Arabi is certainly a thing that that comes up on the show.
Sure.
Even among like non-Yat guests that I have, like Todd Price on his episode was talking about that.
Sure.
So it's definitely something that like people are like whispering about. Like I think I heard that there was something cool in Arabi.
Right.
Like it's very confusing at first. You got to like wrap your brain around such a thing.
Right.
But
Well, and then over the course of the last few years, we've seen so many positive changes as burgeoning art scene, but we're giving people a lot of reasons to come and visit Arabi with things like the Sugar Festival, with things like Sipping in the Sunset.
Yeah,
once
Sipping
a
in the
month.
Sunsets once a month.
You know,
Google that.
Google
I'll put the
that,
link. I'll put the
sure.
link below. Sipping in the Sunset. That's a cool thing on a Thursday night to come do.
Absolutely.
And it's-
Local vendors, great
It's
food,
as local
great
and as
music.
New Orleans. It is as local New Orleans like that you're gonna get. Like
Absolutely.
it is the real deal thing, and it's like you got to go on the other side of the barracks, but
Sure. You reunite with old friends and neighbors and things like that, and
It's-
just get to enjoy a nice, relaxing night in a beautiful open air barn.
Oh,
So
the
it's great.
barn's super awesome
Right.
too. So okay, so your husband Barry, who has another episode as well. The Bard of Saint Bernard,
Yes.
which I just wanted to bring him
I don't
up.
know what that makes me. The Bard's wife.
The
you know?
Bard's wife. Yeah,
The
I don't
Bard
know. I'll
wife.
have to read more
Gonna Google
Chaucer or
that.
something and figure out a good
Right.
nickname that rhymes with something yatty.
Right,
For-
right.
but anyway, so he's Shine Production. So he's got a cool thing coming out. I've been
Sure.
reading about. What's going on?
Right.
Is
So
that Dockville?
actually, the night before the parade. So the parade is Saturday, April
Okay,
1st.
Saturday,
The night before.
Friday night.
Friday, March 31st, we will be hosting a Shine Variety Show at Dockville Barn.
Okay.
And it's a fundraiser for the Community Center of St. Bernard.
Okay.
And it'll be a night of great local music, comedy,
Oh,
dance.
cool.
We'll have some nice, sweet, poignant moments about St. Bernard and some funny things as well. All the proceeds benefit the Community Center of St. Bernard.
Community Center of St. Bernard.
St.
What is
Bernard.
and what is
Okay,
that?
So
I don't.
they're a nonprofit group that does outreach effort for families in need.
Uh-huh.
Whether it's food bank, literacy efforts, workshops, healthcare programs for families. They just do really amazing work to kind of fill in the gap for those families that are in need, especially children.
Cool.
And that's something that Barry and I are very passionate about because we're both school teachers.
You're both educators,
So,
right.
And we're so blessed to grown up
Because
not
you're
wanting
on the
for much.
and you're on the school board.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean? Does that mean you can give my wife a raise? Is that? Can we talk about that after the cameras?
After.
After, okay.
No, I'm just teasing. No, your wife is an amazing teacher. Yeah, so I spent 10 years as an elementary teacher, well, really working with everything from early childhood all the way up to high school, and then made the transition to higher ed, where I am now, teaching at Nunez
You're at
Community
Nunez.
College.
UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA.
The
Nunez
University of
Community College.
Chalmette, Louisiana, UCLA.
You have all the nicknames.
I got everything.
You got
Yeah.
them all. And an elected member of the school board.
Okay.
So, had a unique array of experiences in education over the last 15 years, really getting to work with students at every level of the pipeline, from early childhood now all the way on up to college. And I get to teach some students in college that I taught in elementary school. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
So I've got a handful of students that I taught in first grade, that I had again in middle school after the storm, and now at Nunez.
Wow.
Who gets to say that, they do that? So that's something that I feel I'm very lucky that I get to do.
That is kind of cool. So
Yeah.
you do all that, and then they put you up on a float and make you throw 400,000 pounds of produce
Oh, I'm so
at
excited
unsuspecting
about it.
Yats. Is
Right,
that
right. Well, and I feel like I will be, representing all of my colleagues at Nunez.
Yeah, it's
the
super.
school board, the school system, and
we'll
I think it's
definitely-
great to have a teacher.
We'll
to
definitely
teach us
come out so we don't have to. Well, we'll save us a trip to Dornags.
Exactly. Exactly.
We'll
Who
just
knows
come.
what else?
We'll just come pick up. We'll just catch produce, and it'll be great.
Absolutely, a meal and a parade.
And so, one of the hallmarks of the show, what do you drink? I got two questions I always ask. What do you drink? So, what's your coffee of choice here?
My beverage of choice, iced vanilla latte.
Iced vanilla latte.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. I run off of optimism and lots of caffeine every day. So.
And then, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Archbishop.
As if I don't know.
Hannah.
This is the first time. Usually, I have an exchange with somebody. Oh, I'm a Blue Jay. Oh, I'm a Hand and Hawk. I've never had.
Two hand and hogs.
I've never had another. This is my first episode with a Hannon graduate, unless I forgot somebody.
Uh-oh.
But so this is kind of fun.
Yep, was a Hawkette. It was a Hannon high kick and Hawkette.
There you
Very proud of
go.
that.
There you go. So you were popular. People liked you.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, if you're dancing,
Well, I would like to think that
the Hawkettes were hot stuff. You know, that wasn't
yeah.
not just any yad could be a Hawkette. That took
Oh, you were very sweet. You were very sweet. Well, yeah, I had a great high school experience, and
Yeah.
I'm lucky I get to work with a lot of people
That-
that I went to high school with that are, all went into education.
Yeah.
So, it's great.
Yeah. No, it's just super cool. All right. So the day before April Fool's Day, Dockville Farm, which
Yes.
is an awesome place.
March 31st.
March
yes.
31st.
You can get your tickets for that show at Cafe Aquarius.
Would
Yes.
you send me some links? I'll put all the links down below. So
Sure.
that, and then the parade on April Fool's Day, April 1st.
April 1st.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming to have
Thank
coffee with me. I
you.
appreciate
This was
it.
great. Thank
I'm
you
glad
so
you
much.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.